This is the 18 WJTS News. I'm Charlotte Olson. Local authorities, as a precautionary measure, placed officers at local school Veteran Day assemblies today due to an alleged threat made toward another Southern Indiana school district on Thursday. South Gibson schools were closed as a result of the alleged threat. Greater Jasper Consolidated Schools Superintendent Dr. Tracy Lorai said that all DuBois County school corporations were notified by local law enforcement of a social media post that alluded to threats to school Veterans Day programs. Lorai says that after an investigation by local law enforcement, this threat was deemed not credible nor pertaining to any DuBois County schools, but a school corporation elsewhere. Lorai says that as a precautionary measure, local law enforcement was invited to increase their presence at scheduled Veterans Day programs at all local schools. School officials say that they appreciate the commitment of all county law enforcement agencies in ensuring students, staff, and community members are always safe. The Jasper Chamber of Commerce held their 64th annual meeting on Thursday afternoon as a luncheon at Clubhouse 61 in Jasper. A record-breaking crowd of roughly 350 people were on hand for the meeting that saw the installation of a new president and board of directors for the upcoming year, and the annual presentation of the Community Excellence Award. During yesterday's program, outgoing Chamber President Laurel Sager recognized board members and other officers who served under the 2017 term. Sager also presented the Community Excellence Award. The award is given annually to an individual in the community who has given of himself or herself in a variety of ways in order to make a difference. This year's recipient was John Sang, who was nominated by his mother, Mary Ann Sang. John is a graduate of Jasper High School and Indiana University School of Business. He is currently president and also manager of Forest Products Manufacturing. He and his wife Sandy are the parents of 4 sons and is a member of the Jasper Knights of Columbus and Precious Blood Catholic Church, where he serves as an usher and was an influential member of the building committee for the present church. He is very much active in the scouting program, and he and all 4 of his sons were Eagle Scouts and was said to be the power behind the projects each year had to complete for qualifications. He was recognized for the countless hours spent with other scouts helping them attain their goals as well. Sang was surprised that he won the prestigious award, but is honored and feels humbled nonetheless. He says that being a part of scouting is highly rewarding.
Taking our annual trips to Canada on canoe trips into Quetico Park, which is truly a wilderness paradise. It's a land that's essentially been untouched by civilization for the last 100 years or better. It's remote, it's primitive, it's rugged, and it's very challenging to maneuver it with adults, let alone with Boy Scouts and youth. And it's actually a dangerous place. I fell up there this year and got a little scar here as a souvenir, which I'm quite proud of. So it's been a real pleasure to take. I think we've taken probably 100, maybe 120 boys on these trips, and several of them have done multiple trips, and just seeing them come back year after year, enjoying something that I'm very passionate about. And it's really a place where it's not only it's beautiful, it's great fishing, wonderful camping. It's almost a religious place where you get to relate with nature and get closer to God, and it's very spiritual in that way too.
The Jasper Chamber calls the award a great honor to recognize the work of an individual who has contributed to the success of the Jasper community. The Jasper Chamber of Commerce is comprised of 15 board members and 2 staff positions. Governor Eric Holcomb served as this year's keynote speaker and discussed his 2018 legislative agenda, which included developing a 21st century skilled and ready workforce, also cultivating a strong and diverse economy, and maintaining and building the state's infrastructure, attacking the current drug epidemic, and lastly, delivering great government service. Holcomb says that one of his top priorities is filling job openings and seeing who's qualified to fill those positions.
And this is the #1 concern, is the workforce skill level. And it's the Achilles heel for every state in the country. And for a state like Indiana, where we excel at manufacturing, we're ranked #1 per capita in terms of manufacturing jobs in the country. But knowing what technology and automation is bringing to bear and bringing to the scene, we need to make sure that we're prepared for the jobs of the future, which means tomorrow's jobs. And we have to start early. So that means more STEM, that means more computer science in our schools, and so that when you graduate from high school, you've got that ticket to your success, that you can determine which, you know what path you're on. And you know, we live in a time where it's going to require lifelong learning, and so it's critically important that the state is doing all we can to make sure and to ensure that local communities and regions are on that pathway to success.
Holcomb is the 51st governor of the state of Indiana, and prior to his election, he served as Indiana's lieutenant governor and was a trusted advisor to former Governor Mitch Daniels, Vice President Mike Pence, and also to the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coates. The DuBois County Veterans Council has announced activities for the observance of Veterans Day tomorrow on November the 11th, with everyone being invited to attend and participate. All veteran organizations from DuBois County will be represented by this event and also recognized. The day will begin at 8 a.m. Mass at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Jasper to honor all veterans living and deceased. All veterans groups will join in on the procession of postings they're colored in the front of the church. The Huntingburg VFW Post 2366, located at 314 Geiger Street, is the host for this year's observance of Veterans Day. Post Commander and Master of Ceremonies Brad Huffins will begin at 2 p.m. with the posting of colors and the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. An opening prayer will be given by Chaplain Jim Blimker, and Remembering Our MIAs will be presented by Steve Bartles. Guest speaker for the Veterans Day observance will be Navy veteran Ryan Shear. Sergeant of Arms Post 2366 will call the color guard to attention and offer a 21-gun salute to honor all veterans living and deceased. Taps will be played to honor all deceased veterans, and a closing prayer will be given by Chaplain Jim Blimker. Lunch and will be served at Post 2366 for all of those in attendance. It's a new kind of sound of music at Holy Family Catholic Church in Jasper, with the acquisition of a new organ for the church, and an organ dedication concert is planned for this weekend. The newly installed Rogers Infinity 361-2 is built by Rogers Instruments LLC, which is located in Hillsboro, Oregon. The 3-manual mechanical draw knob console features high-resolution digital samples that are each taken up to 8 microphones. These samples were recorded as some of the world's legendary instruments. The stop list goes far beyond the 61 draw knob engravings, and hundreds more samples are available to the organists so that they may customize their instrument to authentically play every individual piece. Dan Rassicott is the Director of Music for Holy Family Parish and serves as their organist and pianist. He says that the new musical addition will provide a huge lift in a number of ways.
Well, when you're talking about music that you want to be inspirational, the more tone colors you have, the nicer the sound is. And with our old organ, a lot of it wasn't working, and it was very narrow in the different types of tone colors you could have, where this organ has several great pipe organ sounds. It has a lot of orchestral and solo sounds, and just all kinds of different things you can do with it to make that color palette that you can fit it to the particular song.
The instrument also has an expandable audio system, so it may be adapted to spaces from small studios to big cathedrals. In Holy Family Parish, there are 16 audio channels and 26 speaker cabinets. These range from large subwoofer speakers to flat response cabinets and specialty trumpet speakers. All Roger consoles can stand alone digitally, but can also serve as pipe organ consoles, playing both pipe and digital voices. The new Rogers Infinity replaces the previous organ, which has been in use since the current Holy Family Church was completed in 1979. Rassicott says that after 38 years with the older model, it was now time for an improvement.
The state of the technology back then, was good for the time, but it's like night and day. Most people are not using a computer from 1979 for their work or at home, and the same thing here. The technology for the sound quality, the digital sampling that they do is just changed by night and day. And the other thing is that, as I said before, as things stopped working on the old organ, the palette of tone colors shrunk down quite a bit, and there were only a few basic sounds I could use, where now I've got all kinds of things.
Rassicott says that the same model organ was used by the Evansville Diocese for several events and masses. And once again, a dedication organ concert is planned for this weekend. It will be held this Sunday at 4 p.m. with a performance by Greg Zellick, who travels the county performing organ concerts. The 25-year-old is increasingly recognized as one of the most exciting young organists in the American organ scene. Greg is the principal organist of the Madison Symphony Orchestra and curator of the Overture Concert Organ and Series. And make sure you keep it right here, because up next we're going to take a look at your weather summary.